Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm the Reverend Christine Dance, and I am honored to be serving as the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. Welcome to our online worship service. Welcome home. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, focused on diverse theological perspectives, radical inclusion, and knowing that issues of justice and equity shape everything that we do. With a special awareness for those who have been historically marginalized, we welcome all. And there's somebody who's a panelist who's got their sound on. If you can turn off, mute yourself. Thank you. We welcome all of every race, class, ethnicity, immigration status, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious background, mental and physical ability and disability. We welcome your whole self, your family, into our worship as we build a community of caring and courage and hope. This is a very special service this morning. No, I am not graduating, but we are recognizing so many of our community members who are experiencing transitions. Our high school seniors who are graduating, our 8th graders who are bridging to YRUU, our new members joining this community, and our congregation's board members who have served us so well during this time. We will ritualize these transitions, moving them from the abstract to the concrete, giving time for us to acknowledge just how big they are, even if we are not physically together to tangibly experience them with each other. We start this service of rituals with one of our most sacred, the lighting of the chalice. We invite you to grab a chalice or candle from your home as one of our graduates, Kendra Mann, lights our chalice.
Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to share our strength in fellowship, thus we covenant.
Good morning. I am Katie Quinn, your worship associate for today, and I want to introduce our worship team this morning. Our director of children's ministries is Katie Resendiz, and our music director is Benji Messer. Our Zoom operator today is Justin Walgren. Our technology and communications coordinator is Becca Briley, and our chat chaplain today is Kathleen Waldron. We also have several guests that you will be seeing later on. Our chat is open, and we welcome your involvement. And the service is captioned to be more accessible for all. As always, we invite you to check into UUCP on social media with the hashtag UUAnywhere. There is so much to do in this community, which you can find in our newsletter, Compass, and you can sign up for Compass at our website, phoenixuu.org. So we have one announcement this morning. In 1 month, on June 13th, we will be having a congregational meeting. There are several important pieces of business we'll be voting on. We'll be voting on our new slates of leaders, the 2021-2022 budget, amendments to the Articles of Incorporation, and adopting the proposed language for the 8th principle. We'll be having more information as well as opportunities to have informational meetings to discuss several of these items before the meeting. We do hope that all members of record will plan to attend. Our offering is being collected virtually, just like our service. We ask that you be generous in your giving to support the mission of our beloved community. You can text UUCP to 73256, and you can donate through the website, or you can send a check. And if you haven't sent in your pledge for the new fiscal year, please do so as soon as you can. You can find the link in your chat. For all that you give to our congregation, we are so very grateful.
So now we have an opportunity. I'll take this off because I'm putting my board hat on now. We have the opportunity to recognize some of the leaders of the congregation. So board members, please turn your cameras on. You can keep your sound off. So many of you all out there have led this congregation through this extraordinary time. But I do want to recognize that some leaders who you elected through the democratic process to lead us. Most of these folks did not know that they would be guiding us through a pandemic. We owe them a huge debt of gratitude. So I'd like to have you recognize the board members who are leaving. So we're going to recognize all of the board, but I want to recognize first the board members who are leaving the board after this year. And as I say your name, please wave so that we know who you are. Our youth representative, Chloe Stevenson Brown, who is also one of our graduates. Kim St. Clair, who has served as our secretary for the last 2 years and has brought us so much clarity, organization, and best practices from all of her life experience, really particularly guiding us through pandemic Zoom times in the board. And Jenny Jones, who always says yes and who has led our board anti-racism initiative this year. Thank you for leading us through that. Thank you to the three of you for your service. And also want to recognize Shelley Stevenson Brown, who will be taking a year off from the board, but will be coming back to finish the rest of her term in 22-23. Thank you to the board members who will be continuing their terms into next year. Please all wave if that's the case. Francis Wiggett, Lucia DeVernay, and both of you have been great additions to the board this year. And we have two other people who are staying on the board, but who are leaving their executive council positions. And actually, that's not Bunny Hodis. I want to recognize Bunny, who has been our vice president, and Bunny is on your slate for next year to be the president of the board for next year. Thank you, Bunny, for both of those and for saying yes. And two other folks who are moving from executive committee positions to general board trustees. First of all, we want to thank Larry Reid. Larry stepped up when we most needed him, and he turned our financial situation around thoroughly. From renegotiating our mortgage, to getting our budget clean, to managing the transition of 2 bookkeepers, to getting our 501c3, to ably recruiting and managing a financial team, we are so grateful. We will continue to rely on and benefit from Larry as we transition into some other very capable hands. But your mark on this congregation is indelible and forever. Thank you so much, Larry. And Johnny Lifshitz, who has confidently, creatively, humorously led us through the last 2 years as our board president. Johnny had no idea that he'd be managing us through this pandemic, but he has done it with transparent communication and a constant eye on inclusion and justice. He is the leader we needed for our time. He will be remaining on the board for 1 more year, but will be stepping down from the presidency. Thank you so much, Johnny. You will be electing your new board as well as the board of the foundation and your nominating committee on June 13th, and we will get to celebrate all of them then, and I hope you will be as gracious to them as you've been to these leaders. Thank you all for your service this year. Board members, you're free to turn off your cameras, but everyone, please give your gratitude to the chat as we turn to Benji for our opening hymn. Thank you, board. Mwah, we love you.
I'm just double checking, Justin, do we have a video first of
That was my
graduates
mistake,
speaking to the
Benji.
board?
Yes,
No
we have a
worries.
message, a special message to the board
Fantastic. I'll be
from our
ready as soon
graduates.
as that's
Thank you.
done.
On behalf of the youth of the congregation, I would just like to say a special thank you to all of the members of the board for always supporting the religious education program and all of the young minds at UUCP. I know that that's not the reality in all congregations, so we're very appreciative. And I wanted to specifically just give a shout out to Kim, Bunny, Jenny, Francis, Shelly, Lucia, Chloe, Rev Christine, and Larry, who have been really doing a lot on the board, especially to support the kids. Thank you.
Dylan, I think you forgot about Johnny. Special thank you to Johnny for not only being on the board, but also being our facilitator of YRUU. We appreciate you very much, even if Dylan doesn't remember who you are.
That was awesome. Thanks. So just thinking about our younger graduates, I remember my young adult years and my late teens as a time of exploring what was possible and learning a lot about myself. And I'd like to share a song on that topic by the stride piano legend Willie the Lion Smith. You may have never heard it. I bet you'll pick it up very quickly. And instead of putting the lyrics on in the chat, I'm going to get inside the screen with them. Give me just a moment. Takes Zoom a minute to do this. There we are. All right. So please sing with me. Here we go. Get acquainted with yourself. Take that mirror off the shelf. It's a simple plan. Meet the inner man. Get acquainted with yourself. Take a look beneath your hat. There's no harm in doing that. If the truth you yearn, there's a lot to learn. Get acquainted with yourself. Now I gotta jump to the next page. Sorry. There we go. Oh, I'm a little too big. I'm covering up the lyrics. Give me a second. It's new technology. All right, get acquainted with yourself. Don't let your head swell up, 'cause you got fame and glory. Your head will shrink if you stop to think. Just take personal inventory. Get acquainted with yourself. Take that mirror off the shelf and say howdy-do to the one who's you. Get acquainted with yourself. Let's do-be-do-do. Feel free to improvise with me. Don't let your head swell up, 'cause you got fame and glory. Your head will shrink if you stop to think. Just take personal inventory. Get acquainted with yourself. Take that mirror off the shelf and say howdy-do to the one who's you. get acquainted with yourself. Thanks all.
That was so fun. Thanks, Benji. I love seeing you inside the lyrics. How fun. For Together time today, it is a time for a very important ritual in the life of our congregation. So this is our new member ceremony. New members, I invite you to turn your cameras on and get your roses. And I would like to welcome all of our new members to take part of this ritual, along with Board President Johnny Lifshitz and from our membership team, Sarah Moore. We have 3 new members joining our congregation today: Jane Baker, Sabrina Barwick, and Liz Merchant. These are courageous souls who actually all 3 of them have not attended our congregation in person yet, but they know that they have found a community to belong to nonetheless. They are talented, interesting human beings, and you can learn more about them in the bios that are in Compass from last week. I encourage you to look for our new folks among us in all of the virtual spaces that we're in and welcome them graciously.
My name's Johnny Lifshitz, and I'm the president of the Board of Trustees. It really is an honor to welcome our newest or returning members and celebrate their decision to join our community. They have virtually signed our membership book and have made a commitment of time, of their talents, and of their financial support to this congregation.
I am Sarah Moore, and I am on the membership team. To all of you, I say welcome. We encourage you to share with us your creative thoughts, your life experiences, your questions, and your dreams about how we can make this a supportive yet challenging community together.
It is a joy to welcome each one of you as a member into our community. Becoming a member of this congregation is an important step, but it is only a first step. I encourage you each to grow in your religious life and to explore and share your unique gifts. New members, go ahead and unmute yourselves. You're going to be reciting the words on the screen. It will sound messy and it will sound beautiful. Will you journey together with us, sharing the joys and the responsibilities of membership?
Yes.
Yes, we joyfully commit ourselves to this congregation, its mission, and its vision. We understand that membership comes with responsibility, of respect, and the opportunity for growth. We look forward to joining you in building a stronger community.
Thank you, new members. Please go ahead and mute yourselves now. I ask now the members of the congregation to say the words after this at your home. We can't hear you, but we know that you're saying it. And if you want to text yes in the chat, that will make it even more interactive. Will you reach out to these people in friendship, including them in our activities and fellowship? Will you walk with them in their religious journey? Will you be open to their unique gifts and perspectives? Will you extend a warm welcome to each of them, remembering that each of you was once a new member?
And board members, you can recite this too.
Yes.
Yes.
We join
our strengths,
talents, and commitment with yours. You are part of us, and we are part of you.
I love the cacophony and the symbolism of us not all being exactly in sync. I love that. Okay, children of our congregation, this is your chance. This is such an important part of the children having the blessing of this. I want you to imagine yourselves here in the front of the congregation, and these are your new members of your congregation. They, like you, represent our future and our possibility. Will you receive them into our community, showing them how things work around here and encouraging their involvement of growth. And if so, can say loudly, yes, in your homes. And if you want to, you can type yes in the chat. Ready, children? Yes, we welcome you. Good job. As we welcome you, we gave each of you a rose. Thank you, Diana, for dropping each one of those off. New members, if you want to pull out your roses. I like to use roses in both new member and child dedication rituals, but the roses are slightly different. For the child dedication, we remove the thorns, representing how we want to protect the children during their formation. But for new members, we keep the thorns on because the work of community is both beautiful and challenging. We do not promise that there will not be bumps in the road, but we do promise that we will be here to do that work together. Ours is a shared ministry to help each other find meaning in life and to build a just and compassionate life and world, working to fulfill the vision and mission of the congregation. So as I say your name, please hold up the rose that we gave you, and it's the closest that we have to giving it to you. I'm going to hand mine to you. So you can wave so we can make sure to know you. Jane Baker presents you this rose as a symbol of membership in our congregation. Welcome. Welcome, Jane. Sabrina Barwick, we present you this rose as a symbol of membership in our congregation. Welcome, Sabrina. And Liz Merchant, we present you this rose as a symbol of membership in our congregation. Welcome, welcome, Liz. To all our new members, let's give our hoorays, chat our welcomes, and a huge hurrah for this important milestone in our congregation. Welcome, we're so glad you're here with us. And now, our high school graduating class of 2021 has a message for you as well.
New members, hi, welcome.
Welcome into the community.
Hi, all new members. I was a new member a little over a year ago. I became a member because I really fell in love with the community, and I really figured out that these are my people, and I wanted to make it official.
I became a member after going here for 2 years with my family. We decided maybe we should just finally just jump in and become members after being members at another UU church for 14 years, 13. Yeah.
When I first became a member, it was right after my coming of age class. It was a little bit intimidating, and I think it can always be a little bit intimidating. But what I found is that it's just kind of like a commitment to be present in the community, and I think that it's a really cool thing. And I'm glad that all of you have decided to do that.
CP is a great community. We love everyone.
We're happy to have you. You are very loved. You were loved before, but this is me telling you that you're loved now.
Thank you, Mary, for that gorgeous rendition. I don't know that I've ever heard it so pretty. It is the time in our service where we share the joys and sorrows of our community. Being together, it is good to share, to support one another and connect. I invite you to write any joys or sorrows that you want our community to know about in the chat. Please put your name at the beginning so I know who it is. And if you want it to be private, only just to me and not to be shared out loud, please put the word private at the beginning and send it to just panelists so we can hold it in our heart. While you are entering your joys and sorrows, let me mention a few in our world. Our hearts go out the conflict in Israel and Palestine. There is escalating and never-ending occupation and violence of the people and of the Palestinians in particular and their land. It is easy to dismiss this conflict there as too complicated to understand, but it is not too complicated for us to recognize that there are human beings who do not have autonomy over their land, their movement, or their well-being. It is one thing to reject colonialism here and other countries and not to recognize it when it is happening in the Middle East. Our hearts are also hurting this week with the events related to our democracy this week in Arizona. Our state sadly joined several others who passed a voter suppression bill, making it more difficult for people to vote, something that we all know and they know will disproportionately affect those who can't take time off of work, who don't have access to the internet, or are in marginalized communities. On top of the national farce, that is the presidential vote recount, which again puts Arizona in the news as an intolerant and repressive state. We pray that more progressive voices will stand up and that people can see that this is not only who we are. And finally, I want to address the CDC announcement that those who are vaccinated can go without masks inside or outside that was made this week. Some of you may be celebrating that news and be ready to burn your masks. Some of you may feel that it is too soon. Some of you have grown accustomed to the masks and may even prefer it and have found many benefits of having them. I want to validate all your feelings around this, but I want to also remind you that no matter what the CDC says, masks are not harmful. It is your decision whether you want to be wearing a mask. And remember that you have autonomy over your body and that your safety is your decision. And if you are all wondering if this means anything will change in the reopening plans for this congregation, the answer is no. We still believe that gathering as a gathering as large as our worship services are is not safe yet. We still have questions and work to do to open. And there is still a high amount of community spread, which is the numbers we are looking at. Opening is going to be exponentially more complicated than closing was. And we are working on being radically inclusive in our plans. This includes our children who cannot be vaccinated yet, and our folks who, for medical reasons, can't get the vaccine. We are centering them in our plans. Please don't say that everyone can get vaccinated. We still have our children under 12, and when you say that, it makes them sound invisible. And the other reason, to be quite honest, that we are not opening sooner than the fall is your staff is tired. We need some time this summer to recover from this year. We'll be regrouping in August, and we'll be making plans for a hopefully joyful return in the fall, based again in the science. And in the meantime, we will continue to provide you the best possible online experience that we can all summer. I'm going to have more to say about this next week, but I wanted to make sure that you heard me address it this week. So now we turn to the joys and sorrows of our community. Katie Boxley went home from the hospital to the health center at Friendship Village, but then needed return to the hospital last Saturday. She is improving, but she so appreciates your thoughts and energy. And since we are celebrating our youth in our congregation, I wanted to let you know that I had the honor of officiating the wedding of Asha, Aurora, and Mitch Burke outside our statues in the Memorial Garden here yesterday. Asha and her family grew up here in the congregation. Asha was involved in the GA when it was here in Phoenix, and Asha and Mitch were both in YRUU together. I sent love from all of you and reminded them that they are always part of our UU community. And then I wanted to share a joy from our life. This evening, I will be going to Florida and driving across country with our youngest son, Eric, who has decided to move to Phoenix. We are not necessarily looking forward to 30 hours in the car, but very much looking forward to having him closer to us. His time with cancer made him realize, as he's picking up his life, that he wanted to be closer to mountains and closer to his mom's. So I will not be around for work for the next 4 days, and I know that you will graciously welcome Eric when he arrives. So now we turn to the joys and sorrows from our community. So Victoria Meyer says, a very happy birthday to Brad Chapman. Brad is one of our wonderful chaplains. Thank you. Kathleen Waldron says, Vince and I celebrated our 35th wedding anniversary this past Monday. Congratulations. Kim St. Clair says, a joy that my mom has been here for the past week. Her love and support has been precious, healing, and beyond amazing. We love you, Mom. John Reid says, a tragic death in my family has brought great sorrow to us all. Much love to you. Karen Quinn says, my mom is doing a bit better in the hospital in the UK following an operation on her intestines. But there have been setbacks and we wait for the results of scans and x-rays. She remains strong and resilient at 91. Sending love to you and your family, Karen. I know that's hard to be so far away. Nigel Perez says, a joy. I'm so close to landing a backflip from standing. Oh, we're gonna need a video of that, Nigel, that's awesome. From the Lifshitz family, joy. Dylan earned the best AP Literature Student of the Year and Best Science Student of the Year from Sunny Slope High School, as well as a scholarship from the Fraternal Order of the Eagles. That's awesome and hooray. And also from the Lifshitz family, Colin and Owen got their first Fauci ouchie on Wednesday, and hooray to those vaccinations opening up to our 12 to 15-year-olds. Thank you to all who shared. I invite you now to a time of prayer and meditation. I invite you to center yourselves, take some deep breaths, center your body, feel it grounding wherever you are, and take a few deep breaths. Spirit of life, spirit of love, goddess of transitions. We are so grateful. Every single day we give thanks for all of the abundance in our lives. We are grateful for all of the transitions today. And I invite you to join me as we say aloud, or we say aloud, we give thanks. You can say it in your head, you can say it out loud as I say each one of these. Practice with me. We give thanks. For the new members of our congregation who will change us and be changed by us, we give thanks. For our graduates who are leaving high school to explore new worlds and embark on adventures that they can't even imagine, we give thanks. For the blessings of middle school and the bridging into our own YRUU youth group with all the trepidation and excitement that brings, we give thanks. For the leaders who had no idea what they were getting into, but enthusiastically said yes and served with grace in these challenging times. And this means all of our leaders. We give thanks. For this community, for all of the ways that it supports us and allows us to support it, we give thanks. And for moments of silence where we can contemplate all that we hold in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, we give thanks. Amen. Blessed be, and Asha. Thank you, Jerry Whalen. So good to see you. Thank you for that gift. Rituals are critical parts of our life. In our religious life, they are even more important. Some of you have had important rituals, religious rituals of your childhood, baptisms, confirmations, bat mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs, or in your adult life, big milestones that are seen as sacraments, weddings, child dedications, funerals. As Americans and as Unitarian Universalists, we may not think of ourselves as overly ritualistic people. We pride ourselves on being rational and science-driven, and we don't think that we need the rituals. But yet, when I talk to you about what are the services and the rituals of this congregation that you love, they are all the rituals that we do, the UU rituals of water communion, flower communion, bread communion. Boy, we have a lot of communions for such a religiously diverse group, don't we? We have in our time some uniquely modern ways of ritualizing milestones in our general world. First day of school pictures on Facebook, retirement parties, memorial gatherings on the anniversary of somebody's death, or even sporting events are ways that we create rituals. Rituals are the tool to let us know that something is real, that it is something that is really happening. It takes this abstract thing that people tell us is happening, and it makes us feel like it is real. psychologist Rebecca Lester says that one of the most important features of rituals is that they do not only mark time, they create time. By defining beginnings and ends to developmental or social phases, rituals structure our social worlds and how we understand time, relationship, and change. We are creating that time right now. If an anthropologist wants to find out what a people value, they will look at the rituals they created. I think our most important rituals are the ones that mark rites of passage. A rite of passage is a term first coined by French ethnographer Arnold van Gennep in 1960 and popularized by the American anthropologist Victor Turner in 1970. Doesn't it feel like rites of passage has been around a lot longer than that? A rite of passage is a ritual or set of rituals that moves participants from one state of social being to another, child to adult, fiance to spouse, student to graduate. In our religious and community perspective, these rites of passage have become even more important. As an intergenerational community, it is critical that we mark the passages of time and the important steps that individuals are making within that community. We are not static. Each one of us is going through significant life transitions at any given time. In religious settings, we celebrate marriages and we mourn at funerals. As a minister, I've had the honor to ritualize everything from a new home blessing to new pet welcomings to rituals to mark a divorce or breakup. Our ritual of bridging our high school seniors is particularly a poignant one because it marks a particularly important transition of the person in their religious development. Until this point, our graduates may be making decisions to be part of the religious community with their parents or their family. Except for you, Mary, I know you already made this conscious decision on your own. But where they go to be in a religious community is often dictated by location and association. But now as they bridge, everything changes. They may be going off to college, or they may be getting a job where their availability changes. They may be changing who they'll be hanging out with. The point is that their affiliation with a religious community after this bridging ceremony becomes much more in their hands than ever before. It is their choice whether they want to be affiliated and how. And sometimes it might take even a bit more effort to maintain those connections. Someone once told me the best piece of advice that I could ever hear as a parent, as my children were heading into adulthood. They said, when your children become adults, you as their parent are fired as their manager. Ouch. And then it is their choice whether they want to hire you as their consultant. I was fired as their manager. That really struck with me. I am no longer that, but I want to be worthy to be their consultant. I want to be trusted, valued, relied on, and helpful. So graduates of 2021, I offer you this thought as you prepare for this important ritual. Your connection with UUCP has always been voluntary, although maybe convenient if it was attached to your family. But now you get the chance to decide what your religious future is going to be with intention and commitment. We hope to be worthy to be your community consultants, ones that you can turn to for comfort, inspiration, calls to action, and guides as you become ever more moral human beings. But know this. This ritual marks your passage into adulthood, out of high school and into the unique adult experiences that you each will have. But you always, always have a home here, your spiritual home, your home of friends, your community home. You have changed us. And in this ritual and for as long as you're alive, we will be cheering you on every single step of the way.
Don't pay no mind to the demons, they fill you with fear. The trouble, they might drag you down. You get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone.
Justin, over to me. All right. Hey, y'all. So that video, so 4 years ago, we taught that song to our coming of age class, our 13 and 14-year-olds. That was their song. And that song is Home by Philip Phillips of American Idol fame. And they learned it, they performed it that year in a service about coming of age. And the youth who in UUCP, many of the youth who are graduating from high school this year were in that coming of age class. And so I invite you to sing their song with me. Katie reminds us in the chat that video was taken during an overnight for them. So here, let me just again share with you our lyrics. There we are. And again, I need to shrink myself just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Please sing with me. Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road. And although this wave is stringing us along, just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home. And not that. 1, 2, 3, and settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons, they fill you with fear. The trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. You can make this place your home. And there's some oohs here. Do it with me. Settle down again. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons, they fill you with fear. The trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place your home.
Thank you, Benji. And how cool was it to see those faces as 8th graders? So speaking of 8th graders, I would like to address our current 8th graders. Yes, you 8th grader, those of you who are right now in 8th grade, I want you in your homes to go ahead and stand up wherever you are watching this. We'd like to honor you with a ritual we call circling up. You who have finished elementary school and 8th grade and who are coming into young adulthood. This is a big milestone here and in our congregation, and a big transition for you, because here at UUCP, it means that we officially bridge you into YRUU, which stands for our Young Religious Unitarian Universalist Youth Religious. Oh, somebody's going to correct me that. Why did it just slip out of my head? But it is our high school adult youth group. We welcome you to that adult side of UUCP as you prepare for your coming of age experience and choose whether to become members of the congregation. We also acknowledge that you'll be finishing OWL next year as well. These are some big responsibilities and milestones in the life of our congregation and in your life. We welcome you into the high school experience of UUCP with open arms. May it be rewarding, challenging, growth-inducing, and mostly fun. Thank you. And remember, you are so loved. Okay, beloved 8th graders, you can sit down. And now we joyfully move to honor and celebrate our high school graduates, the class of 2021, as they move from high school into young adulthood. It is a ceremony we call bridging. Today we are honoring Dylan Lifshitz, Chloe Stevenson Brown, Mary McManus, and Kendra Mann. Now, you all need to know that this is not just any graduating class, but one that has been collectively more involved here in the life of UUCP than probably 25 or 75% of you all. In this class, we have had 2 board members. Dylan served on the board last year, and Chloe is serving this year. We have a worship associate, Mary, and although Mary is the worship associate, both Dylan and Chloe have also spoken in services just this year. And Kendra has been an incredible helper with our kiddos. Every single Sunday when we were in person here, she was in the second worship service with our kids and was a great help in keeping the kids engaged and teaching them how worship goes along and in the life of our worship in our community here. I personally have had several conversations with each one of the 4 of you that have been meaningful and have shaped my ministry here. And we really don't need me to say that. I mean, heck, you've already been on screen twice in this service where you have shared your appreciation, your love, your leadership with our board and with our new members. But mostly, I love how you have also cared for each other in silly and joyful and spiritually nourishing ways. You have had a huge impact on me and us as a congregation. And you are so, so very loved. So it is time to bridge. Dylan, Chloe, Mary, and Kendra, I invite you to stand up in your living rooms, in front of your family, and right here in front of our congregation. And I would like for you to have the rose and the chalice that you received at your home. For those of you who didn't know, our bridgers got this gorgeous chalice a rose for the ceremony, and a sign in their yards from UUCP. Now, anyone who is a member of our Why Are You youth group, and 8th graders, remember you just circled up into that, so that includes you. I would like for you to also stand up. I invite you to root your feet on the ground and reach your arms out. We'd like you to send your love and energy to your friends as they get ready to go through this important bridging ritual. Okay, are you all in your places? Your bridging here today is a sign that you have grown beyond what you once were. With each new day and with each new experience, you learn more about yourself, your world, and your faith. Your past will serve you well on your journey. We gather now to honor you at this transformative time in your life. You are our second class of graduates while we've been online. You are the class that has intimately known that you can always find us online, no matter where your life takes you, whether it is here in Arizona or if it's on the other side of the globe, maybe like in Finland. You know that you can always find us. We are you anywhere, and we will always be a part of you. And you will always be a part of us. When we dedicate our children, we give them a rose to symbolize their own unique beauty. You just saw that we gave roses to our new members, and we give you this rose again today. And it's a little bit more permanent one, so you can take it with you wherever you go. It's a reminder of your unique beauty as you rely on your parents less and on yourself more to remember your own inherent worth and dignity. Roses require care and water and sun, just as you require community, love, and self-care. Real roses have thorns on them, symbolizing that none of us is perfect or without our prickly places, and that you will inevitably experience thorny situations in your lives. I will call you out by name as we hand you your rose and in your bridging rite. Dylan Lifshitz, I give you this rose. May you blossom as it does. May you see your beauty within, as we all do. Chloe Stevenson Brown, I give you this rose. May you blossom as it does. May you see your beauty within, as we all do. Mary McManus, I give you this rose. May you blossom as it does. May you see your beauty within, as we do. And Kendra Mann, I give you this rose. May you blossom as it does. May you see your beauty within, as we all do. And to each of you, you were given a chalice, a symbol of our faith and of our religious community, to remind you of the warmth and the spirit we hope you have grown to know in this religious community, and to keep the light burning brightly. May it burn bright in your lives and in your spirit. Today, we voice our commitment to building a stronger community, to building a bridge, and we beg you to help us build it with us. As you cross the bridge between youth and adulthood, know that we cherish the energy and ideas that you bring to our Unitarian Universalist faith. Chloe, Dylan, Kendra, and Mary, today we recognize your transition from youth to a young adulthood. It is a blessing to share together a time that holds both sorrow in leaving the past and an excitement in embracing the future. For a moment, feel the energy of your companions in your YRUU youth group. Yes, YRUU folks, hug them. It's perfectly beautiful to hug the screen. And now we invite you to cross the symbolic bridge into the space among the adults in the congregation. We, the adult members of this church community, welcome you, and our hearts are prepared to share life together with you. Congratulations. Let us all wish them congratulations. You may be seated now.
We've often ended services about youth growing up in our congregation with Joni Mitchell's song, The Circle Game. We're not quite at the end of this service yet. We still have a few things left to do, but our choir has just finished a version of Circle Game in which our singers reflect on their own growing up. I hope you enjoy it.
Yesterday a child came out to wander,
caught a dragonfly inside a jar.
fearful when the sky was full of thunder,
and tearful at the falling of a star.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle. And 16 summers gone now.
Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town, and we tell them, take your time, it won't be long now.
Till you drag your feet to slow the circles down.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel
This year has been a struggle, which I'm sure it was for you, missing out on all the things that make your senior year so thrilling. Maybe you had a prom, maybe you didn't. Testing probably looked different, and so did sitting at lunch with your friends. But even though all that occurred, it does not take away from the milestones and stepping stones it took for you to come to this moment. I know I missed my graduation last year, but that did not stop me from celebrating how far I had come over those last 4 years. This time is a milestone. Maybe education is your path. Maybe you're taking a gap year or going to college. Either way, it is okay because you are where you need to be at this exact moment. For me, I was really confused on whether I even wanted to go to college, and so I settled on taking a gap year, but when COVID hit, it pushed me toward going to college. But it would have been okay no matter which way I would have gone, because what I learned is maybe there is no right answer for everything. Maybe life does not have one path to go down. We can choose from a million paths, and if one does not work, we will find another. What matters is staying true to who you are, because you are not alone, and no matter which path you choose, find people who support you and inspire you to grow into the amazing human beings you are.
Dear Chloe, Dylan, Kendra, and Mary, we are so excited to celebrate this moment with you, and we want you to know that this time is blessed. We won't sing songs of melancholy about how time is slipping through our fingers or how we wish you would never grow up. Because to be honest, we are so excited. We have been waiting for this moment since the day we first met you. Watching you become who you are every single day has filled us with joy, trepidation, and a whole lot of fear. But you have impressed us again and again and again, and we know that every day you will continue to become. And you're going to mess up, you're going to fail, you're going to find victory, and we are so excited to share and to keep sharing this beautiful world with you.
Aww. So we end our service today with a song that we used to sing every Sunday as our children and youth left the sanctuary for class. And I dedicate it to all of those making a transition to something new. Please sing with me. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to meet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to meet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Thanks all.
Okay, so I've just been crying the whole second half of this service. How beautiful, how wonderful. I do want to invite you all to coffee hour after the service where we can meet and talk with our new members. New members, I encourage you to come. Graduates, I encourage you to come. Board members, I encourage you to come, and I know that not everyone can. The link will be posted in the chat, and visitors, please come as well. You can see we're a pretty tight community and we're a friendly bunch. So as we go on our way, may the transitions in your life be sacred. May you bask in the achievements of your work for all of us, but especially our graduates, our 8th graders, and our leaders. And may the future of our graduates and our new members be bright. May the potential excite you and scare you just a little bit. Most of all, may you know that as you go out into the world, each and every one of you, that you represent love and possibility. And may you walk into each and every encounter knowing that your love will make it better. Amen. Blessed be. And Ashe. Go in peace. Go in love.